Okay, guys, so we're gonna start out with a poster. What is this? The poster board, the black. I have a black. I have leftover, and then we're gonna use foam. I got the foam from Michael's. It was probably about $4, and it comes with two big square pieces like this. And I'm just gonna use also a glue gun, glue sticks, my rotary cutter, scissors, and a roller, and this little cardboard box to put my glue gun on so it doesn't burn my mat because it happens all the time. So on the cardboard, not cardboard, on the poster board, we're just gonna measure. I'm not really like measuring like how like size. I'm just like using the roller basically just to guide me with lines. Like I kind of just improvised with the whole thing and didn't really measure. So I just like made a straight line, like decided how big I want it and made a line, cut it with my rotary cutter because the scissors kind of suck at cutting. So I use my rotary cutter to slice it and dice it and break it open because it takes forever to come off. And then I just cut the other side once I have it bent so that I know have a guideline of where to cut it again. There we go. So then it's broken apart, and then I'm just measuring like if it's the same width, which I know it is. So I don't know why I did that. But and then I'm just going to measure 4 more pieces for the sides. I can't really tell because the light's in the way, but I think I measured it about 2 inches. It might be 2 inches, maybe 1.5. I'm not sure. Anyways, just measure how tall you want the sides and make 4 of those little measurements because you need 4 sides for your little box. And so I just measured 4 and then I cut them out. I did it 2 at a time so that it was easier and I didn't have to like do like all 4 at once. So I just measured the 2 right there and then I cut them. And then I ended up with 4 pieces. I ended up with 4. So then I have my base and then the sides. And then, yeah. So I just have my base and my 4 sides for my little box. And then I set them up before I glue them to make sure that they all like measure the same around. Otherwise I would have to trim them down a little bit. And then I just cleaned up the sides because they were a little messy. Because I don't want it to be too messy. I mean, you can't like perfectly cut this stuff, but then I measured the foam to the bottom of my base, and then I cut it out with scissors. And this foam is really easy to cut. You can also use this foam for others. So then I just cut out the foam on both sides. So now that I have the foam piece cut out, and it measures with the top of my, not the top, the bottom, I'm just going to start gluing. I'm going to lay my pieces out again. I don't know why I laid them out so much. But I'm going to glue them down. I'm just putting glue on the side of the base. And glue all the way down. And don't get go on your finger like I just did because that kind of burns. I'm going to glue all the way down the side. And then take one of the side pieces and glue it to the side of the box. You can put a little extra or whatever. So then I'm just taking a piece and gluing it down. Make sure all the lines match up. And then hold it down until the glue dries, at least a little bit, so that it doesn't move because you don't want a crooked box. So that's what one side looks like. And that little piece inside there, you can actually add more glue to fill that in. So I'm just going to glue the rest of the sides. I have all four sides glued, and I'm just cutting like the excess off because one of the sides was a little bit longer than the rest of it. So I'm just cutting that off and making them all even around and cutting off the edges a little bit just to make them all even and all the same height and all that good stuff. Then I'm going to stick the foam inside there just to measure and see, like, before I glue it, if it actually fits inside there, and it does perfectly. So that's it. Before, you don't have to glue it. That's totally an option to you because I know a lot of people make these things and they leave the foam underneath it not glued so that they can stick the earring backs underneath it, but I'm not doing that. I'm just going to glue mine down. But before I glue the foam in, I'm going to put a trim around the edges of it because it looks really messy and I don't like it. So I have went through my little box and found a piece of trim, and I'm going to glue that onto all four sides to make it a little cleaner and give it a little decoration so it's not just like plain black. So I'm taking my trim and I'm going to glue it to the edges of the box. You have to be careful when you're hot gluing fabric because it will burn the crap out of your fingers, like through the fabric. Like you can put your hand on the other side of the fabric and it will still burn your hand, like it goes through the fabric. So you have to be really careful when you're hot gluing fabric onto something, really thin fabric, because it will burn you. Trust me, I know. I've learned. Even while gluing this, I burnt my finger like a million times. So just be careful. So then I have all four sides glued and I'm just gluing off, tucking the edge, the last piece, tucking it in, like overlapping it so that it fits. And since I don't really like the way it's looking, like all sticky now, I'm going to glue it down. Oh, just kidding. First, I'm gluing the foam. Gluing the foam down first um, into the box. And then I'm going to shove it in there the right way. And push it down really hard so that it stays. And make sure you don't get the fabric in there too because it will go in there if you're not careful. So I'm just gluing that down all the way down, pushing down hard and all that good stuff. Make sure it stays and it doesn't come out. Which of course it won't because it's hot glue, but you know, just securing it in there with the hot glue. And there you have your earring holder. And I'm going to glue down those pieces because I don't like the way they're sticking out. So those are getting glued down so it can look a little bit more neater and not like some parts sticking out, some parts in, all that good stuff. So those are getting glued down. And that's it, I think. I'm sorry the camera's out of focus. I didn't know it was out of focus, or I don't have a little screen on the side, so the viewfinder, so I don't know like what's happening while I'm recording. But yeah, I'm just continuing to glue all four sides down. And you can use any trim you want. I just chose this trim because I thought it was cuter, the cutest, and all that. But you can glue the back as well. Secure the back to clean up the lines or just to make sure that it won't go anywhere, which I don't think it will, but just in case. Never can be too sure. Gluing the back more and the sides with filling in the spaces with the glue. Dry it, and then you stick your earrings in, and you are all done, sister girl. I use this little container for my earring backs as well, so that I don't have to like lose them because I lose them all the time. But I hope you guys like it, and thank you so much for watching.